This is the decade of change. This is the moment where, faced with climate change and climate impacts, conflict and COVID, that we need to build resilience within our societies. And the food system is fundamental to that.
Our topic today is responsibility and opportunities on the way to climate neutrality. Would you be so kind to let us all know who you are, for them who don't know yet, and what is the Club of Rome actually?
Sure. So I am the co-president of the Club of Rome. The Club of Rome has been around since 1968. Since then, the club has brought together scientists, economists, decision makers from across the globe.
The topic of sustainability is a very, very important aspect in this context. In the book Earth for All, you and the other experts from the Club of Rome discuss possible ways of improving economic systems.
The pride of many of the companies that are here, the pride of being able to optimize this technology for the benefits of people and the planet, well, that's exactly what we talk about in Earth for All, a survival guide for humanity. This is the decade of change. This is the moment where, faced with climate, both climate change and climate impacts, conflict and COVID, that we need to build resilience within our societies. And the food system is fundamental to that. The 5 turnarounds that you mention are ensuring that we reduce poverty, reduce inequality, empower women across the globe, because this has a direct impact not only in terms of good diversity of decision making, but also it has a direct impact on population growth in certain parts of the world, because more women are then given access to education. But then the 2 key systems that need to shift, that have a series of knock-on effects, are food. Why food? Because we know that land use is fundamental in the way in which we preserve our planet. Why energy? Because energy is obviously the greatest emitter and also has knock-on effects in terms of transport. With those 5, it costs us about 2 to 4% of GDP per annum to put in place the recommendations that we are putting forward. Now, in the food system, our main recommendations are to use land differently, to really think through our impact on land, but also the potential for carbon sinks. So what is the impact on soil? How can we have more regenerative farming? How can we ensure that we optimize our yields while reducing our waste? Waste both in terms of food, because the emissions from food waste are growing and huge, but also waste in terms of packaging and the way in which we process the food. But then what is the social link to that? And we see that in terms of the farmers' riots and the pushback that we've seen. And the social element is making sure that we can actually empower rural communities to not feel disenfranchised, to be able to truly thrive, not just survive, to get a true cost and a true price for their goods. And that is fundamental as well. The other key point within the food system is ensuring that we actually also look at a shift from animal proteins towards plants. Food is such a fundamental part of our societies, and yet we don't even have universal access to food. We don't have universal access to affordable food either. And we also see in some countries that we have the contrary effect, where actually food is costing us so much money because of obesity and malnutrition. I really am impressed with the depth of knowledge and consciousness that the people that I have met here at this very important conference have in terms of the importance of this sector, both in reducing the footprint, but also in ensuring that people can actually thrive and that the social impacts are positive rather than negative.
What would you prioritize on that? Is it more like side stream management and circular economy, or is it like more on the agriculture side?
Those 5 key turnarounds are part of what we call the giant leap scenario. The food shifts within the giant leap scenario are important to also enhance well-being and to enhance the lifestyles of more people on this planet. The other, purely in terms of the processing, distribution, and also obviously end-of-pipe waste issues, obviously comes into a lot of the technologies that we've seen here. Really focusing on a reduction of waste all the way into new materials, into recycled packaging, into thinking through bioplastics and different types of packaging mechanisms. And then the last key part of our thinking is around then how do you look at materials and how can you reduce your material footprint, whether it be through plastics, etc. And again, here I've seen a lot of the new technologies that are coming out and you're looking at some of those new materials. So it's really been a fascinating journey for me to come.
We will continue here at the fair. Thank you so much.
Thank you.